One Label Under Blackmail: The Early Intersections of Diddy and the Epstein Network. Written by Whitney Webb.
Welcome to Night and Day True Crimes. For more content like this, please thumbs up this video and subscribe.
In part one of this series on the overlap between the worlds of Sean Diddy Combs and Jeffrey Epstein, we examined Combs' early years, his mentors, and the industry figures who ensured their, as well as Combs' own, commercial success. Ties to organized crime and intelligence are readily apparent and point toward a truly sinister reason behind this network's patronage of Combs and his close associates, like Andre Harrell and Russell Simmons. Beginning in late 2023, a series of startling and unsettling allegations against Sean Combs, a record executive and rapper known over the years by stage names like Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, and presently Diddy, have emerged. As the allegations and lawsuits facing Combs have snowballed, so too has public interest in the case. The sheer amount of accusations suggests that Combs, in addition to being very sexually and physically violent, filmed many assault encounters and orgies that occurred at his now notorious freak-off parties, sometimes with hidden or security cameras. He also now stands accused of operating an empire of sexual crimes, with federal agents having alleged that several of Combs' victims were of barely legal or barely illegal age at the time of their abuse. Combs' apparent documentation of these events strongly suggests that he was interested in keeping these records for more than his perverse enjoyment, as either a form of a protection or as a means to control those who appeared in these films, a blackmail. As a result, speculation has grown about who is allegedly on the list of people filmed by Combs in this way, prompting comparisons to the alleged list of sex trafficker, pedophile, and intelligence asset Jeffrey Epstein. The comparisons between Epstein and Combs have only grown, with even the Homeland Security agents who raided Combs' Miami home suggesting that Combs was as bad as Epstein. However, as has long been a theme of unlimited hangouts Epstein-related reporting, including the book One Nation Under Blackmail, the Jeffrey Epstein case has been poorly explored by the federal government, mainstream media outlets, and even many independent media outlets. A deeper examination of the Epstein makes it clear that Epstein was not the sole mastermind or sole beneficiary of the sex trafficking and blackmail operation in which he engaged. Instead, Epstein served as an operator for a larger, moneyed network of oligarchs with extensive organized crime connections, in addition to significant affiliations with intelligence agencies. He was also more than a sex trafficker for this group, having aided this network extensively in arms trafficking, money laundering, and other crimes that fall outside of the focus on his sex-related offenses. It should come as no surprise upon closer examination of Sean Combs that, like Epstein, he was operating on behalf of a larger network that he did not ultimately control. Instead, it arguably controlled him, as this three-part series from Unlimited Hangout will endeavor to show. Combs was acting on behalf of an oligarch network that directly overlaps with that of Epstein. However, Combs used to influence a different industry and a different community for the benefit of these intelligence and organized crime-connected oligarchs. In part one of this series, we will examine the often overlooked early years of Combs and his entrance into the music industry. While Combs' own rise from birth to the founding of Bad Boy Records in 1993 is certainly chronicled, a major focus of this piece is on the mentors and figures who facilitated his rise into the upper echelons of hip-hop celebrity, especially Andre Harrell and Clive Davis, as well as other figures who had a significant influence on Combs' early career into the music industry, like Russell Simmons. Not only did these figures bring Combs into the music industry, they also stand accused of initiating Combs into the types of activities he is now in prison for and now on trial. Also explored in this piece are the corporations behind the success of Combs' mentors, and later Combs himself, namely the Music Corporation of America and Arista Records. When taken together with other claims from the period, namely about efforts to manipulate hip-hop for the benefit of the private prison industry in the early to mid-1990s, it appears that this network's interest in Combs, as well as his mentors, was part of something much larger that sought to target not just the hip-hop industry itself, but the African American community at large. Subsequent installments of this series will examine Combs' activities in music and retail and beyond, and how the same network detailed in Part 1 also enabled those activities, which notably paralleled Combs' deeper descent into acts of sexual violence and abuse. Another installment will examine how one close associate of Combs also connects very directly with the sex trafficking activities of Jeffrey Epstein, indicating that the overlap between the two cases is more significant than previous reporting, and the current cases against Combs have suggested. Sean Combs was born in Harlem, New York on November 4th, 1969, to a schoolteacher and ex-model named Janice Combs and Melvin Earl Combs, an Air Force serviceman and sometimes associate of American gangster heroin kingpin Frank Lucas. Melvin Combs helped make ends meet by running a number of legal and less than legal operations, including a cab and limousine chauffeuring company, multiple bars Combs owned, and a portion of Harlem drug traffic. A toddler-aged Combs tagged along with Melvin on visits to Lucas's home, even playing with his daughter. According to an interview prior to his death, the aged gangster alleged that Combs didn't share his toys.
I met Sean Combs. I met him when he was a little boy. He used to come over to my house. His daddy used to bring him over to my house. He used to come see me on various businesses, and he used to bring him over to my house from time to time. But I met Sean about a year ago. It's been a little better than a year ago. He heard I know the father, and he wanted me to tell him about the father, so I come over there and I told him something about the father, but I didn't give him the whole story because he didn't press me. He just asked me casual, and I told him casual, but if he pressed me, I would have told him the whole story.
About his dad?
Yeah, well, all I know, but I didn't do that because he didn't press it. If he act like he really wanted to know, he act like it was just another thing, so I had to go.
Right, and you knew him as Sean Combs, not as Puffy or P. Diddy, right?
No, I know Melvin's son. I didn't know his name. I know Melvin's son. I didn't know his name.